Dear students, welcome to my class. Today I will discuss the chapter Unlucky 13. Already I have discussed the first page of the chapter Unlucky 13. Today I will discuss the second page of this chapter Unlucky 13. Dear students, at first I am reading. Then let's start today's class. What? Said Mohan with some astonishment. What has its name got to do with it being sly? It's a cheater, which is a fine name for the dog, replied Velu. It cheats us every time. Mohan laughed out loud. Ha ha ha, cried Mohan, holding his stomach. Tears streamed down his face. It's called cheetah, not cheater. My parents named it cheetah because cheetahs are fast. The dog zoomed around at great speed when it was little. It still does. Oh, said Velu, I always thought cheetah was a funny name to give a dog. The boys walked on, laughing about the dog's name and what Velu had thought about it. Soon they arrived at a tall fence. As they walked along beside it, they heard voices shouting, 13, 13, 13. Did you hear that? Mohan asked Velu. Hear what? Replied Velu, pretending to be hard of hearing. Do you hear those voices? Asked Mohan. Someone is shouting 13 over and over again. Of course, I can hear that, Velu said, giggling. The boys stopped to listen. They were quiet for a change. I think it's coming from behind that garden wall, said Velu, pointing. Again, the voices floated across to them from behind the wall. 13, 13, 13. Why are they shouting that number in particular? Asked Mohan softly. My brother told me that 13 is an unlucky number, whispered Velu. Yes, it is, agreed Mohan, like passing under a ladder. Why is 13 like passing under a ladder? Asked Velu with a bewildered look on his face. Dear students, you also try to read this chapter with good pronunciation and now let me start the explanation of this chapter. Dear students, this is the second page of this chapter. What? Said Mohan with some astonishment. Mohan asked with some astonishment, what? What has its name got to do with it being sly? This dog is sly, then what to do with its name? It's a cheater, which is a fine name for that dog, replied Velu. Velu said, it is a cheater and it is a fine name for this dog. It cheats us every time. This dog cheats us every time. Cheats, that means frauds. Mohan laughed out loud. Ha ha ha, cried Mohan, holding his stomach. Tears streamed down his face. Stream, that means flow. Tears flow. Tears came down his face. It's called cheetah, not cheater. This dog is called cheetah. It is not cheater. My parents named it cheetah because cheetahs are fast. He said my parents named it cheetah, not cheater, because cheetahs are fast. The dog zoomed around at great speed. When it was little, the dog zoomed around. Zoom, that means move. The dog moved around at great speed when it was little. When it was little, It moved around at great speed. It still does. Oh, said Velu, I always thought cheetah was a funny name to give a dog. Velu said that Velu said that he thought cheetah was a funny name to give a dog. The boys walked on, laughing about the dog's name and what Velu had thought about it. The boys were walking and they were laughing about the dog's name and what Velu had thought about it. Soon they arrived at a tall fence. Fence means wall, tall wall. Soon they arrived at a tall fence, tall wall. As they walked along beside it, as they were walking along beside it, they heard voices shouting, 13, 13, 13. They could hear the voices shouting, 13, 13, 13. Did you hear that? Mohan asked Velu. Mohan asked Velu about the voices. Did you hear that? Hear what? Replied Velu, pretending to be hard of hearing. Velu replied, pretending to be hard of hearing. Hear what? Do you hear those voices? Asked Mohan. Mohan asked, do you hear those voices? Someone is shouting 13 over and over again. Someone is shouting 13, 13, 13 over and over again. Do you hear those voices? Of course, I can hear that. Velu said, giggling. Giggling means laughing lightly. Velu said, of course I can hear. He replied, giggling. The boys stopped to listen. They were quiet. Quiet means cool, calm, or we also can say opposite of noise. The boys stopped to listen. They were quiet for a change. I think it's coming from behind that garden wall, said Velu, pointing. Velu said, I think it is coming from behind that garden wall. Again the voices floated across to them from behind that wall. Floated, that means move on. Again the voices moved on to them from behind the wall. 13, 13, 13. Why are they shouting that number in particular? Asked Mohan softly. Asked Mohan very softly. Why are they shouting this number in particular? My brother told me that 13 is an unlucky number. Whispered Belu. Belu whispered. My brother told me that 13 is an unlucky number. Yes, it is, agreed Mohan. Mohan also agreed. Yes, it is like passing under a ladder. He said, it is like passing under a ladder. Why is 13 like passing under a ladder? Asked Velu. Now, Velu asked, why is 13 like passing under a ladder? Asked Velu with a bewildered look on his face. Bewildered, that means confused. Velu asked with a confused look on his face. Dear students, today after this, thanks. This is Masfar today.